Guys, we've got a big Bioshock conspiracy on our hands. We've just had a re-release of Bioshock remastered on the PlayStation Store. Bioshock 1, Bioshock 2, Bioshock Infinite. We've got new trophy lists live on the PSN. We've got multiple platinums that you can earn for the original Bioshock now. And you can actually platinum the original Bioshock now 5 times. I don't know what's going on. It's crazy. We need to break it all down. We need to take a look at it. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Let's dive in and check this thing out. So, as I mentioned at the top, we've got a situation with Bioshock, and Bioshock 2 actually, in which they have been re-released on the PlayStation Store for another time. So, you'll all remember that way back when in 2017, the Bioshock collection released, and it included Bioshock 1, Bioshock 2, and Bioshock Infinite. Wait a second. I've got my copy here. It's one of the few boxed copies of games that I actually still have. Anyway, this released way back in 2017, and this included 3 platinums. The one for the original Bioshock, one for Bioshock 2, and then one for Bioshock Infinite. Makes sense, right? This game then subsequently got released on the PlayStation Store as the Bioshock collection, and when you downloaded it, it came with Bioshock 1 and 2 as a download, and then Bioshock Infinite as a separate download. So 2 separate installs, and that's probably why this version here came on 2 discs, because this one here came with Bioshock 1 and 2, as you can see there, and this one here comes with Bioshock Infinite. So they're kind of 2 completely separate, I guess, I mean, they're 3 separate games, but kind of released as 2 separate SKUs in the one bundle. What it looks like 2K have done is that they've re-released the Bioshock collection, or Bioshock remastered again, but they've separated out Bioshock 1 and Bioshock 2 into 2 separate games. So as you can see here on the PlayStation Store, this is the Australian PlayStation Store. You can see here the new releases, and we've got Bioshock remastered, Bioshock Infinite, and Bioshock 2 remastered. We can click on this, dig a little bit deeper. I guess it's not unusual to see Bioshock Infinite, the complete edition, separate, purely because that always was separate. So if you own the digital version of that game, it was a separate download anyway. But I guess remastered Bioshock 1 and Bioshock 2, it is interesting to see those 2 separated out. And I guess that's where this kind of whole mystery starts to become unraveled. So it appears that they've re-released these games again on the PlayStation Store, and subsequent to doing that, they've also released new trophies, but not in every single region. Now, the reason that I'm confident in what I'm saying in terms of this just being re-released to those titles is because a similar thing seems to have happened with Borderlands here. So Borderlands Legendary Collection. Now, if you'll remember, this here contains 3 games. Borderlands Game of the Year, Borderlands 2, and Borderlands the pre-sequel. So this is a combination of, I guess, the Handsome Collection and Borderlands 1, and they're releasing it as a full collection, similar to what they just released on the Nintendo Switch. So my assumption is that they created these SKU lines for the Nintendo Switch for Borderlands collection and Bioshock Remastered as a new SKU, and they've just decided to roll that out across all different platforms, regardless of whether it has been on that platform or not. So there is another option to buy. So essentially now, to simplify all of this, you can now buy Bioshock 1 and Bioshock 2 separately. That's all there is to it. The good news, though, for trophy hunters, is that as a result of that, we have 2 more Bioshock remastered trophy lists available to us, and 2 more potential platinums that we can earn, as well as 2 additional Bioshock 2 trophy lists and 2 additional platinums that we can earn as well. Of course, you're going to have to buy those games and pay for them again to get those platinums, but we do have them. It's interesting that that's happened. Now, the regions that they've released them in, it's probably not what you think. Normally, you would expect it's going to be Europe and North America, but the reality is it's actually not North America. So North America does have the re-release, but it doesn't have a new trophy list for some reason. Europe does, and so does Japan. No idea why it's just happened for these 2 regions and not every single region. It's a bit of a mystery in that sense, but that's where we're at the moment. It's a very strange one. I don't think there's been an instance where this has come across, but what I did find really interesting was a post here in the forums on PSN Profiles, which is actually what spurred me to make this video in the first place, because I think it's crazy how many platinums you can actually earn now from Bioshock. So this was posted by Hunting Fever, and he said now Bioshock 1 has a PS3 platinum you can earn, a Japanese PS3 platinum you can earn, the Bioshock Collection Platinum, which is this one here, and then the standalone digital re-release, which is the remaster we're talking about, in EU and Japan. So you could potentially earn 5 different platinums from the original Bioshock now, which is crazy for a game like that. We see stacks all the time for smaller games, Rattlika titles, things like that, but not normally for games of this size and this caliber. So honestly, I'm impressed that this has happened. I don't know if this is a intentional thing that 2K have done, knowing that people might buy it from multiple regions to play it again, or if this is just an accident and they've just kind of stumbled upon it, or if this is just happened somehow, and that's the case. The other thing as well is Bioshock 2 has a similar situation with the PS3 version, which is now unattainable because it had online trophies, unless you have those banked for some reason. I think I do, actually. Bioshock Collection, which is the one I've got here, and then the 2 standalone remasters of Bioshock 2. Weird. Bioshock Infinite didn't get the same treatment. We've just got the PS3 version and then a PS4 version, which is just what you could see on the store or what's in this game just here. So Infinite didn't get a ton of re-releases, but Bioshock 1 and Bioshock 2 have seemed to have. I should also mention the re-releases, the digital versions we just looked at on the PlayStation Store, they aren't anything different. It's exactly the same game as you would get with this. The only difference is when you boot this up, it gives you an option to play Bioshock 1 or Bioshock 2, whereas this game here, you're only getting one or the other. So I'm guessing the boot sequence would be different when you start the game up, but then the entire game and the experience will be the same. There'll be no enhancements, there'll be no additional remastered features or anything like that. It's going to be the same game as you would have had if you played the collection. However, you will have new trophy lists if you purchase it from Europe or from Japan. So the Australian store falls under Europe, so technically I could purchase it and I could get another platinum out of it, and then I could use my Japanese account to purchase it as well. It's an interesting one. I guess if people are interested in doing this, if you are wanting to get additional trophy stacks and you don't have European or Japanese credit, you can go over to a website called playasia.com, and they sell credit for different PlayStation regions, which you can buy, and then they send you a code automatically if you pay for it with, I believe, a credit card. So you can't pay with PayPal because you can request a refund with PayPal, I think. So if you pay with a credit card, they'll give you the credit and code straight away for different regions. So that's how someone in North America could potentially purchase the game on a European account with European PlayStation credit without having a European credit card, because I know that PlayStation kind of restricts you in terms of using credit cards from other regions. So that's one way of kind of getting around that if you're wanting to do that. I'm guessing you guys probably already know this because you hunt for those stacked Rattlika trophies already, so I'm guessing you probably have a fair idea of how that works. But that's Bioshock. It's a strange mystery with this one. I'm not really sure how this came about, why this came about. It's good for someone who's a Bioshock fan, I suppose, because you can go ahead and get another platinum in Bioshock, or potentially even 2 additional platinums in Bioshock, but don't expect a different experience. It's going to be the same Bioshock experience you've had. Nothing wrong with that, mind you, actually. It's a great experience. I love the original Bioshock. It's one of my favorite games of all time, but I don't want people to get confused about what this actually is. So yeah, that's the whole Bioshock conspiracy. Thought it was worth covering, thought it was worth talking about. Yeah, if you want to go for the Bioshock Platinum, it's not a super hard Platinum. The hardest thing in the game is playing through the game on hard, and then, what is it, not dying? You can't use the Vita Chambers? I haven't played Bioshock in such a long time, not since the PS3, but yeah, you can't use the Vita Chambers, I believe. You got to turn them off, so if you die, you just have to keep making manual saves, basically, to prevent yourself from dying, so you just keep doing that. It's not actually very hard to do, to be fair. It's a different way of playing the game. It makes you think about it a bit more carefully before you run into an environment. But all the same, Bioshock's an awesome game. You should, if you haven't played it already, and you know, this shouldn't be the reason, but you should go and play it. But yeah, Bioshock, new trophies. Are you guys interested in these? Like, will you be going for any of these ones? I haven't actually even played the Bioshock Remastered on PS4. For someone who says this is one of their favourite games of all time, I don't really, show it, I guess. I probably need to go and do that. I'm currently trying to figure out what I'm going to earn for my 200th Platinum Trophy. I put out a request for recommendations and things like that, so maybe it's Bioshock, I don't know. I'm still on the fence about what it should be, and kind of humming and hawing about a few different things. I do have some Bioshock merch here somewhere. I think there's some in the set behind me. I don't know. I can't remember where exactly I put it. Hopefully you guys can get a platinum out of it. If this was helpful for you guys, let me know. I know I rambled a little bit. It's probably not great, but give me a thumbs up if this was helpful. I'm going to try and keep making update videos like this about random gaming conspiracies. But hopefully, hopefully it helps some people out. If you're new to the channel for whatever reason and you've just kind of stumbled upon this video, then hey, welcome to the channel. I'm normally a little bit less rambly than this. It's pretty late at night here in Australia. It's about 11:30 at night, so I'm getting a bit rambly now. But I make videos like this all the time, and I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel and stick around and check out some of my other videos. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next video.